What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Press the button, KG.
I did it. I don't know if you can hear. Wait, why can't I hear myself?
It's always a start, isn't it? It's always.
There you go. I can hear myself. Sorry, it wasn't fully plugged in.
It wasn't. Well, you know, we still got what we needed to. We've got what we needed to, and I'm looking forward to this morning's show. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, because we have big news, KG. Big news. Things are happening. Yeah. Things are happening when it comes to the Manchester United, the Manchester United takeover process. There has been a delay in the Manchester United takeover process from the Ineos side of things. Now, I can't do the flex thing.
No,
Flex
you're doing good. You're doing really
Flex
good.
can do it for a full 5 minutes, and to the point where you go, "Are you just going to do this the whole show?" It's very impressive. But there's plenty to get into this morning when it comes to delays, and not only a delay from Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, but a feeling, a sort of sense that maybe Sheikh, Jassim and Qatar maybe haven't completely walked away from the table. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Listen, bro. You know, was he talking about the hopium yesterday and hoping that they'll be, they'll just come back to the table at one point. I was saying that, look, this is the desperate thought, and it's a 5% chance, you hear about deals being ratified and you're thinking, wedding settings, someone runs in. No, wait.
I object.
That's the dream. I think that's the dream a lot of Man United fans will have. A lot of them won't voice that opinion because they just don't want to look stupid. But here you go. Muggins here. I'm always willing to.
You're like that Michael Scott in The Office. I'm ready to get hurt all over again. But let's get into this because the details are quite interesting. Now, it must be said, you don't want to get too carried away because it still looks like we're heading in the same direction as we were. But of course, the expectation was that this deal for Ineos to acquire 25% of Manchester United and take control over sporting matters was set to be ratified Thursday at this boardroom meeting. But it then was reported last night in an exclusive from The Telegraph, from Tom Morgan and James Ducker. They reported that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 25% purchase of Manchester United is not expected to be decided by the club's board on Thursday, as final details are still being thrashed out. Sources close to talks, though, maintain that a deal is still within sight over the next fortnight, with submissions, quote, progressing at a clip, whatever that means, as the Ineos owner closes in on an agreement. However, there is said to remain some discussion still to settle over Ratcliffe's likely £1.35 billion investment, which would grant him immediate control over football operations at Old Trafford. Now, some within the negotiations had been hopeful earlier this week that a final proposal would be ready to be voted on by the club's board in a pre-arranged meeting on Thursday. However, a well-placed insider aware of discussions on both sides has told The Telegraph there will be, quote, no decision this week. Now, this is when it gets really, really interesting because some key figures inside the deal also remain skeptical that Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has entirely withdrawn his interest in the club. Sources close to the Qatari, however, have reaffirmed their insistence that he has told the Glazers last week he had quit the process. So you've got people within the club going, I don't know if I buy it. And you've got people close to the Qatari saying, no, we're out. So there's a feeling within United that he could come back to the table and maybe this delay could actually spur that on. Although he's saying, I'm fully out.
Damn it. It's United that's saying this, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's not good. We don't know what we're doing in anything. We don't. If Altan says he's checked out in it. I think that's the vibe that we got to really look at, because we don't know how to negotiate anything, so just thinking that he's going to come back. There's a source. It's probably someone that made the same facial expression when we spoke about Amrabat.
So well, they've gone. Yeah, but then saying that though, then it happens. So they can go, Qatar out.
But shouldn't you go with the facial expression? The facial expression that counts is done. What have I done? Hold on, I haven't moved or anything. The facial expression that we should respect, is the one of the people that have told us we're out. Our Tans and them lot said,
what, KG,
we're
what
gone.
have you done? What have you done? Your internet's moving crazy. The question is, what did KG click?
I didn't click anything, but my internet, I had some latency issues last night. I'm gonna is it really bad? Is it just like,
I think you're coming back
totally
now.
out?
I think you're coming back now.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Am I back? You sure?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. I just don't trust I don't trust our guys. If this news is coming from a Fabrizio, I'll be more excited. If there's a solid U-turn and we heard it from Qatari sources, that would make me excited. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. While we allow your dial-up to connect back up, we'll carry on with the article. So, as we mentioned, the sources close to the Qataris insist they're out, although some people within Manchester United say, maybe not. Ratcliffe, meanwhile, he's keen, according to the Telegraph, to get his deal done as soon as possible so he can be in charge of football operations in time for the January transfer window. The billionaire Ineos owner's plan to take a 25% stake could potentially pave the way for significant changes on the football and performance side. There is understood to be an admiration at Ineos for manager Erik ten Hag and the job that he has done since taking the helm 17 months ago, but it remains to be seen what it might mean for the futures of other senior staff, including Chief Executive Richard Arnold and Football Director John Murtough. As part of the likely deal, not all of the money offered, and this is key too, not all of the money offered by Ineos is certain to go to shareholders, and there is also an expectation that the Glazers' voting rights will be diluted under the terms of the agreement. Now they go into all of the start of the season, etc., etc. But the last tiny bit of this article, is quite interesting too, because they say, quote, as previously detailed by Telegraph Sport, Ratcliffe also wants clauses attached to any deal which will enable him to eventually stage a full takeover, his long-term aim. So there could also be, I guess, logically, speculation that another reason for this sort of possible delay is the fact that those clauses that we've spoken about, those clauses of, how are we going to get to a point when we do have a full takeover? What's that roadmap going to look like? How are we going to get to that light at the end of the tunnel? He wants that attached to part of any deal. So maybe Thursday's tomorrow they went, that's going to take a little longer to get in there. No, that's got to be in there as part of this deal, and that's not there just yet.
Well, we mentioned this before. I said only Man United could ruin a deal that's pretty much done. We said literally on yesterday's show, like, look, man, with the way that we do business, you expect Thursday not to go how Thursday goes. And we didn't even before they found out late Tuesday night, that Thursday meeting. Yeah. And that's this club. That is this club. That's this club in the transfer business. That's this club all across the board. That's this club when they're handing out contracts to David De Gea. And literally, that is this club. The DNA of this club is, all right, we got a simple deal to do. Let's ruin it. So I'm not surprised. Now, there has been a charm offensive. They've been doing this thing talking about, and it's conflicting reports, really. They've mentioned that how they want to get Sir Jim Ratcliffe in for the January transfer window, but then there's other reports saying, well, he can't do anything in January. He's going to need some time. He says, I'm going to look at the lay of the land. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to pull the trigger. So which one is it? Because you can't I understand the media trying to force in their guy, or forcing someone they would prefer to be at the club, but then don't lie to the fans, in it. Which one is it? Does he have to wait and see the lay of the land and understand? And he's gonna be having financial fair play constraints And also there's the I heard Simon Jordan speaking about this as well. He's saying, well, if he owns 25%, you were saying this actually, why is he pumping all this money in? Like, where's this coming from? He's not the full owner. This doesn't make any sense. You've just stepped in and you own a small piece of the club. Well, why are you paying for all the signings that come here? How does that benefit him in any way? If he wants to buy, especially now, they're saying that he's staircasing up to own the whole club. Well, this doesn't make sense then, because if you're staircasing, you can't spend all the outlay on signings. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that people were pointing out, that this whole situation is somewhat unprecedented. It's not unprecedented that someone would buy, a quarter of the club, 25%. Stuff like that happens all the time in businesses, particularly obviously publicly traded organizations. But it's unprecedented for someone to come in, own what is a small slice of a business, and have that much influence in that, we have total control over sporting matters. But you don't have total control of the business. So how can that even work? Unless, again, there were those things that were, written down, those clauses and that were put in place. But as has been detailed there, as has been pointed out with this article, is that those sort of finer details about, okay, if I do want to, as you mentioned, staircase to owning the full thing, I want those put in there. I don't want to just get this deal done and then we can talk about it after the fact. No. These things have to be written down black and white. How do we get to the point where I own 25% to your 69 to 100? How do I get to there? And I don't know. This is why this story might just be nothing. We might be sitting here 2 weeks' time. It's done. Hey, we just didn't have enough time to get those things done before that boardroom meeting. It wasn't a big deal. Or in 2 weeks' time, it's like, hey, we're still no closer, because as we've said before, do the Glazers really and truly want to sell? Because if they didn't want to sell now, why in 3 or 4 years' time, when the club's going to be worth, this is what I've been saying before, when the club's going to be worth more, they've said it before, this time around they wanted over 6 billion quid. They've also said in 3 or 4 years' time, United could be worth 10. We could get way more than that.
Or it could be worth less. It could
Yeah,
be worth less.
but their projections are that it would be more. So if they're going to put any roadmap of how they're going to sell the club off, they'd want flexibility involved in all of that. And again, those kind of things don't get done very quickly.
But I want to understand, when they say that it could be worth more in this, that, and the other, that's off the basis of success. That's off the basis of still being, a team that is consistently finishing in the Champions League and European League's places. Man United, while it's worth a lot of money.
Yes and no, really, though, to be honest.
We don't.
Yes and no. If you look at what's going to add value to the club, what they're projecting is going to add value to the club, it's somewhat irrelevant when it comes to success. The Champions League, obviously, that might be an involvement in that, but we don't know how that competition is going to develop. There's been talks about getting, people that haven't even qualified in the top 4 or in the top 5 in their leagues into the Champions League, putting just random wildcards in based on historical, what's it called? Coefficient being put in the Champions League as well. The Club World Cup as well. Previously, the Club World Cup was about people that had won their leagues and the trophies and the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. Now, again, that's going back to a historical thing. People that have just done well historically in Europe. The television rights in the Premier League got nothing to do with success with that. In 3 or 4 years' time, they might say to the broadcasters, we don't need you anymore. We've got our own Netflix-style over-the-top streaming service. That's going to pump 2-3 times more revenue from media rights into all of these clubs as well. So from their point of view, and they'll, by that point as well, they'll have signed a couple more sponsorship deals. They're like, that's what we've seen over the last decade with United. United still get record revenue. United still get record sponsorship deals. With Snapdragon, we just got a record sponsorship deal.
I don't know that takes us over the 6 billion barrier though. Already the club is overpriced. It's like what it's really worth and what they're selling it for is not matching up. It's already doubling. We're asking for doubling value right now for this club. So now saying that we're going to get to a point where we're going to be worth 10 billion, and then who can do that? What do you call it? If the Qatari fund is coming and saying, hey, this is above us, yeah. Well, who are you asking to buy this club? Unless your intentions is you're never going to sell this club. But then the one thing that we do know is while there is discourse within the Glazer family in terms of who want, because there's some people that have offered Sir Jim some of their shares. That's the one thing that we can guarantee, that some do want to leave, because he wouldn't have this opportunity to have let's say a stake in control in some of these A-class shares. So there might be cracks in there. It's not all as it seems, and this has been well reported from the start that some Glazers would like to leave now. You got these two cretins, yeah, that have no it's just, they just want to take these lovely flights. They like the look of it in their portfolio, and they just don't really care about Man United, to be honest. Like, it's a plaything, but it's a plaything that they're not putting any effort or emphasis into. They just turn up for the fun parts. But then it's terrible, man. I really, like, a little part of me, I really hope that like Qatar do step back into the mix. People say, "Oh, you're twerking for Qatar," but it's just my thing is, I would like a stronger situation that we can end up in where there's hope. At the end of this, I gotta wait, let's say 4 years for Sir Jim to get his hands on this club. If we're really like being proper, and even in them 4 years, the Glazers might say, "Hey, nah, we might stay a bit longer." You know what I mean?
And this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying that this could be a holdup, because, as you pointed out, one thing we have learned through this process is that actually, did the Glazers even really want to sell in the first place? And if they didn't want to sell in the first place, why in 2 or 3 years' time would that be any different, when there's an argument to be made that the changes that Ineos could be implementing now could make them more successful? And could fix up the things that they needed to get fixed anyway. Those reports come out saying Ineos are looking at how to expand the stadium and how to improve the training ground and this, that, and the other. Well, if the Glazers are still majority shareholders and own the majority of the club, if things are going good in a few years' time, off the pitch as well, most importantly, but as well as on the pitch, they'd be like, we really don't want to sell now. Yeah, you can maybe buy out a couple of our siblings, maybe. But, that's why I'm saying that that's very complex. But I'm glad in a way that this delay has happened to make sure that those things are in place, because that, for me, has been the key thing throughout all of this, is if there is at the very least a roadmap to getting them out the club, I can get behind that. Any takeover bid that removed them, I can get behind that. I really can. If it came out that Ineos own 25%, are the Glazers going to go in 3 or 4 years' time? Well, no. Then that's not enough, is it? That's not enough. And as you pointed out earlier, I think there would be huge question marks. There still are, of going, okay, so you own 25%, and what? You're going to be the primary sort of bankroller for a new stadium that's going to cost $1 billion? Why would you do that?
Like, I hope listen, end of the day, I hope this guy has, like, he's looking after himself, he's well, and that. 71, man. You know what I mean? Like, when when you go to the mortgage and you ask for, like, loans, this, that, and the other, they do take your age into consideration.
You slide across your ID, your passport.
Yeah,
they go,
take your age and stuff into consideration. So you're saying to me, well, what is your contingency plan? Because, like it or not, even the other with the Glazers, the first Glazer that bought this club, he's not around anymore. And since that's happened, it's been in disarray, because, well, it's always been disarray, but it's probably worse now that you got kids that just inherited something that they didn't know what they was going to do with this thing. They didn't have literally. So now it's like, does a child have that natural? Is there someone? What's the long-term plan of Ineos and Man United if they do have full control? Is it buying it for a short space of time? And what do you call it? Because you have to those kind of uncomfortable conversations, and I hope he lives for a very long time, But then those uncomfortable conversations need to be had. You like, what's the long-term vision for Man United? 10 years from now, what do you expect to be going on? Is it something that stays in the family and there's somebody that steps up, or is it an Ineos thing? Ineos own Man United, and it's not Sir Jim. Like, yeah. I don't know, man. But then,
because you never know. Like you said, Ineos in a decade's time could be like, actually, we've had a bit of a change in our mindset when it comes to sporting teams. We don't really want to be involved in sport anymore. Right? That's not out of the realm of possibility. But you would then argue, look, Manchester United's such a big asset. Would you be really willing to be like, actually, we didn't want anything to do with that at this point.
Well, no, as long as there's a long-term vision for the club, that's all it means. It's got to be a thing where those types of questions are asked, and while it's uncomfortable, it's just the truth. This is end of the day, this is business. This is a club that's important to a majority of fans, and it's a club that is expected to stay standing regardless of what goes on throughout life, really. So then has situations been made just for those moments? The club have to think like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I just
couple of super chats here. Kristen's been a member for 16 months, says the deal will fall through because of the clauses Jim's offering. Why would the Glazers accept the 6 billion value in 3 years' time if they value at 10 billion in 3 years' time? And again, I don't think it's going to fall through. I'd be still surprised in like 2 weeks' time we're sitting there and we're like, if what I thought the Ineos was happening and it didn't happen. Unless, look, the feelings within United are true. And then Qatar came back, properly blew them out of the water, which I guess is still, you never say never. And that's what Flex, when the news broke, Flex called in on the show and he said, oh, yeah, I just spoke to Bloomberg because they wanted a quote from him from the article. And they said to him, look, you can never say never because, until it's done, anything can happen, but Ineos will win that race. Amanor also says about someone hacking KG's Wi-Fi as well. But do you think KG, do you think there's any hope, or do you think it is just a case of in 2 weeks' time it's just it'll get put through, and then because also as well we want to.
There's nothing wrong with hope.
Yeah, well, also as well, we were chatting yesterday, weren't we? We were chatting yesterday about structures in January and stuff like that. Look, if we're gonna move on, we might as well move on. You know what I mean? Like, let's just end this. Let's get this process done. Like, we still want a conclusion. Do we really want to be sitting there in 2 weeks' time and be like, yeah, we thought we were done, but actually, or every single time there's been a delay to this, KG. Next thing you know, it's 3 months have gone by and
it's
nothing's happened.
Way. It's the United way. Like this is United. Like we're lastminute.com. We score last minute goals, Fergie time in everything that we do. It's just part of the United way, and we always make things difficult. Even like we just have to be able to operate. Remember when they'd interview Fergie at the end of the games and he'd say, like, how was that one? And he's like, oh, it wasn't good. Because we just we always do it the hard way. Man United won't look at that an easy route, a nice little cutback goal. Nah. What do you call it? How much time's on the clock, ref? 1 minute 30. Yeah, that's about right. That's just the United way. So we heard the deal last time we was doing a show. I know Flex was talking to, can't remember, Helia, and he said the deal dead in the water. As it stands right now, the what do you call it? Sir Jim is done, basically. Yeah. We all looked at that and was like, wow. It was like literally, it was seismic in terms of a something to say to someone, and he said it so casually, and in that time there was like, what can he do to fix this? Now he hasn't got a lot of money, but he restructured. He went away. It took him time because I think it took us, was it 3 months ago that we had that interview, or like 3 months?
Well, we had maybe 3 or 4 months ago, it was dead in the water. Then maybe about a month ago, it was, he's going to come back and he's going to restructure the thing. And then like in 2 weeks, it was, he's won.
There you go. So that we've gone from dead in the water to there's no way he can do it. He hasn't got that much money, so and so and so, to hold on. he's now looking like the front runner. He's the man. Well, if you take that same philosophy, if Thursday's not ratified and it's not sorted, then you get to a situation where our Tans could be like, I want it though.
The best thing is the Thursday as well. Yeah, okay, it still wasn't Thursday. So even after the whole, like, I told you it'd be Thursday, it's not Thursday. We've got over 1,400 people watching, less than 200 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe.
You're a cheat.
Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. Welcome to Matifalo as well, latest member of the UV Members Club too. And Glenn says, I have to say, as a rival, all right.
Glenn, who does he support?
Liverpool.
I hate Liverpool as well, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, he must be. You know what? They're getting through. Like FSG will never let go of Liverpool as well. Like, but I feel like if you compare like our owners to the other owners in the Premier League, I think we got the worst owners. You know,
Oh, of
are we
course
up
we do,
there with?
KG. Of
Are we?
course,
I think
it's not
like,
even
it's not
competition.
even a competition now. I think.
Nah, it's not even a competition. You know what's crazy? This is a really
Yeah.
weird phenomenon I've seen on social media over
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks. It's these Man City fans that are like posting things to their like other fans, going like, "Guys, it's going to be all right. We can get out of this." Like they're having some like massive crisis at the club because they lost a couple of games.
Wait.
And
What?
I'm not even joking. They're like, "Guys, don't worry. Keep your chin up. It's going to be cool." You just won the treble last season. Like, you've got Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland, and you know what I mean? You're fine.
You
What
are
are you
an
talking about?
You're cheap.
Wait, Man City. Wait, a Man City in a crisis.
Also, as well, they didn't react like that when they had 115 charges, but they lose a couple of football matches. Guys, it's going to be okay. You're not worried, like the legal threat over your head.
Hey, you know that's a club that's scared. Where Everton owners were criminal, KG. I don't know, man. I think we could. It's standards. It is called standards. You know. That's what you know. What big up
That's
to them.
what they say. That's what they said. They go, "Oh no, it's just our standards are high." You go, "What? Because everyone still was under the impression City are going to win the league this season. Like they never start the season well.
Absolutely.
They start slow.
Absolutely.
They're a bit like United used to be under Sir Alex, where start of the season, come after Christmas, they won't lose a game.
Mm. F1 settings. No, but it's quite funny that they feel that this is a crisis, you know, because even let's say it all goes to crap, yeah, this season, you already know that January they're going crazy.
Well, next season,
Jan?
like they'll have this season off. They'll
Oh,
win
yeah,
next.
yeah,
They'll win
yeah,
next
yeah,
year.
yeah, they'll be fine. Like as long as you got Pep and that level of investment, you'll always be there or thereabouts. That's the Fergie one. Oh, we're there or thereabouts, and then come January, I back us to win the title. I miss sentences like that, bro. Do you know how long it has been? Yeah, I just would love a title race. I'd love a real title race.
A
You know,
real
like
one.
a real title race. I mean, like, oh my goodness, like we could actually do it. We haven't had that in how long's it been?
Since we won it. Since we won it, 2030.
Oh,
To be honest, even that year, it wasn't really a title because we won it by April. Like we were
man.
at least a decade.
You're cheat.
I mean, when that happened, KG was in his mid-50s, so it's a long time ago.
Oh man, I just want to be in a title race, man. Oh man.
This is quite interesting, though, KG. Speaking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, it was written by Jamie Jackson yesterday from The Guardian, talking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe questioning Manchester United's recent transfer policy when he visited the club in March, and actually singling out a player specifically, questioning why we signed him. So Jamie Jackson has said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe questions a specific player. Do you want to try and guess who it was?
Wait, he's Sir Jim Ratcliffe, yeah, someone that does not own the club yet, yeah,
Yeah,
with his 25% stake, yeah, and his Klarna payments has questions for a player that we.
Well, when he went to the club, you know, when they got shown around Old Trafford and Carrington in March, and they asked questions about a variety of different things. Apparently, he had questions about transfer recruitment and transfer policy, and one player in particular, he was kind of like, I'm not sure the business behind that. Do you want to take a guess?
Jadon Sancho.
Incorrect.
Oh, seriously, then don't say Anthony.
No, I'll tell you. So it said Sir Jim Ratcliffe questioned Manchester United's recent transfer policy during his visit to the club in March, with the prospective new minority owner citing the previous summer's acquisition of Casemiro as an example of what he views as questionable recruitment. Ratcliffe raised this during the presentation given to him on the 17th of March by the United hierarchy in the Jimmy Murphy Centre at the club's Carrington training base. Richard Arnold, the chief executive, John Murtough, the football director, were among those in attendance. Ratcliffe suggested the choice of the players signed by United in the past few seasons had not always been the most prudent. As an example, he pointed to Casemiro's purchase for 60 million euros the previous August from Real Madrid. The midfielder was 30 years old and was given a 4-year contract of about about £350,000 a week. Some of the numbers, I don't know about
It's
that.
mad.
But bear in mind as well, this was in March when Casemiro was doing well. It's not as if it's like recently. He was doing well. And then they point out, before you jump in, they point out Nice, the club Ratcliffe owns, recruited Aaron Ramsey, Kasper Schmeichel, and Ross Barkley among more than 10 signings in the summer that Casemiro joined United. Schmeichel was 35 and signed a 3-year contract in a £1 million transfer from Leicester. Ramsey, then 31, and Barkley, then 28, came in on freeze and were given 1-year contracts. All 3 players left Nice this summer.
You're smoking crack!
This is levels of crack, bro. Do you know what's funny about this situation? Yeah, and I love it because there's Man United fans in here today saying, Casemiro, terrible signing. Don't do that. Don't do that. You lot were raving, ranting and raving. He has had a bad start to life this season, you know, and the whole club has. But it fits an agenda, you know, that is, and probably he didn't say this. I'm getting with the thing that this is just unnecessary paper talk, because why would he go on he's just gone on a tour, yeah, and he goes, everybody, hold on. I know you're showing me the books and the numbers. Casemiro, the guy that's won 5 Champions Leagues, what's he doing here? With all the other players.
In March. When he's doing like his best work. You know what I mean?
He said, hey, guys, stop this meeting for a second. I know the roof's leaking and I know there's some serious situations, and those books look crazy. Yeah. Seems like you don't have a lot of, like, why are you not taking dividends anymore? He said, you know, forget all of those important things. Let's talk about Casemiro. Wait, what? And where it doesn't match up is you bought in Ross Barkley. You've bought in with 100% control. You bought in Kasper Schmeichel and some of these olden dons. Yeah. Are you not okay? This has to be fake paper talk. And I get it, because what they're doing right now is, you know, like it's always a nice little article here and there to kind of diminish a signing. We're talking about Casemiro, and this is what Jaden will call an scapegoatism. Now we're starting to talk about, if you notice, it's going to be subtle, the pieces on Casemiro, and all of a sudden he's not worthy of anything and he's dead. You know, why did Man United bring him in? He only came here for retirement. And when that wasn't the energy last season, people were saying, well, he said, I'll fix it. He's coming to Man United for a new challenge. And all of a sudden, we want to give up on him as a player. I think it's ridiculous. I back Casemiro to turn it around. I back him to be in this Man United midfield. Yes, he's played bad, but I still think the real Casemiro will show himself.
I think that this sort of bit that was written, I think it's very selective. I think he'd be right to raise questions about the sort of long-termism of the Casemiro signing, because I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people said, look, there's a guy's over 30. What do we give him, a 5-year contract on a big wage? They're natural questions to ask. They are natural questions to ask. I think it's also selective because, as you mentioned, his name is in the headline this season because he hasn't played particularly well, even though he's top goal scorer, but he hasn't played particularly well. So people go, wow, he probably asked questions about a lot of players and a lot of recruitment. Because let's face it, over the decade since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, he could have picked anyone. He could have picked any signing bar a couple and gone, what was the idea with this? You know, let's have a look at, I don't know, Alexis Sanchez. Let's have a look at, you know, Paul Pogba. Let's have a look at whoever, you know, who didn't work out at United. So he could have picked any, realistically. So I think the fact that they've gone, well, Casemiro's in the headline, let's put Casemiro in that at the moment. I think that's part of it too. I think there's rights to ask questions about that, but I'm sure he asked about a variety of different ones. But as they do point out, you know, obviously it's difficult to compare Nice to United, but you know, you have evidence of that summer alone. You bought, you know, granted for less money and on short contracts, you bought older players that didn't work out too. And maybe you could say that was a bit of a dry run for when they come into United, that he goes, look, we've seen on a small level that signing those players, the older players, it don't really work out. You need to be going for younger players, change the profile. I'm behind that. I don't have an issue with that at all. But I agree with you. I don't necessarily doubt that maybe he raised those questions, because let's face it, when they're chatting about these things, they're probably looking at, presentations, they're looking at papers, and what do they see on the papers? They see numbers. They see numbers, they see money, they see contract lengths, and they see ages. And they go, Casemiro, he's 30, 31. He's on a contract until when? What's that? What, 2027 or something like that with an option of an extra year, 2028? Are you kidding me? Whoa, what's going on? And he's on what, 300K, 300 plus K a week? So he'd ask those questions, but he probably did that about a lot of people as well, because we've said the same too.
He's gone in there, yeah, and he's seen Maguire running around doing that stupid stretch, yeah. He's seen, what you call it, Sancho, that just wants to play on the left-hand side. He's seen Anthony step in and do, he's done that little pirouette thing that Anthony does. Yeah. Wait, hold on. He's seen, who else is in the team doing a madness? Phil Jones still swanning around the place. Yeah. Hold on, there's more nonsense. Did we have Weghorst then? He's seen
that would have been him. That would have been him.
He's seen the defensive striker in Wout Weghorst. He's seen, there was a lot more foolishness happening at the club. And he's gone, Casemiro. That's the part that I just don't see, like, in terms of, like, there's all this nonsense happening, yeah? And he goes, let's talk about that guy over there. Nah, mate, there's some glaring, obvious things that are just wrong with the club. And there's something that's getting right with the club in terms of when in March, there was shouts of he's one of the best players in our team, one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. So you're not gonna, if you're stinking up the place like it is happening now, I understand it. I get how you're glaringly looking at him, but you'll think there's always these arguments of they need a bit more experience and age in the team, and there's no leaders. Straight away, Man United, we had a leader in Casemiro. I get it, like it's taken a turn for the worst in this season, but then we can't. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it, and it's like the media have this special ability of really, changing like fan opinion on certain players, and it starts off really subtle. I remember when Bruno Fernandes, it was just Mr. Fernandes, this, that, and the other, and slowly, like, they've eroded his character in saying that he gives up early, he doesn't try, and all this other stuff. And now that is actually almost become the truth. They said it enough for it to become the truth. The one day that Gary Neville said, I think it was Gary Neville, he's asked to be subbed off, it was a lie. No one came back and said, hey, that's not true. But now that is the narrative around Bruno. Yep, Bruno doesn't want to play anymore. Look at him giving up. There we go. And it happened. They leak this bit in. They don't say it's wrong. No one comes out to fight back it. And then them lies become the truth. And you're going to get that with Man United players. These work extremely hard to just almost kind of destroy the value of some of these players. That's how I feel about it. I still feel that he hasn't become a dead player overnight. He's not rubbish. He's just he's in a bad poor. He's a poor bit of form, but he can return. And it's just ridiculous, bro.
But I think also it's how you perceive it as well, because, and this isn't me like, why are you blindly backing Sir Jim Ratcliffe? But like, if you look at, I think anyone would look at, again, the Casemiro signing, and no, I don't think anyone's doubting the impact he had last season. He was one of our best players last season, and it worked out last season. Yeah, but I think also people would say, given someone, over 30, a 5-year contract on a big amount of money, that's from someone from like a CEO or an owner point of view, they go, why didn't you give him a 3-year contract? There'd be questions. That's not saying, if you question the sort of the finer details of that transfer, that's not saying he's bad. That's not saying, as you said, oh, he's dead, he's rubbish, he can't contribute anything. But to say, what is the long-term goal? You mentioned it earlier on. What's the 10-year plan? I get for a player like Casemiro, there isn't a 10-year plan, but you go, is there really a 5-year plan on him as well? Mm-hmm. And again, that's not a criticism of him, but that might be something that an owner or even a director of football would come in and say, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that one. Not that I wouldn't have signed him if I was in charge here, but on those contracts, I'd have been a little bit more. I'd have maybe pushed for less, because what we don't want is in 4 years' time a Casemiro that has significantly declined, but he's still on a big wage, and we're going, we can't get rid of him because his wage is so big and nobody will touch him. And I think maybe they'd be looking at some of the contracts and the difficulty that we've had in selling players in recent years and say, about that. I don't know about that contract. That's a bit high. Maybe we shouldn't have gone that far. It's those kind of things, I think.
But then you know what, Man United, and this is where we talk about like what comes first in terms of. I know it's a crazy little statement, but you know when people say the chicken or the egg and stuff. With Man United, the situation that they find themselves in is Man United fans want a player that they want to get excited about and get behind. You know, when the transfer window opens, you don't want these meaty signings to come in. But Man United might have to look at this and say, hey, as a resetting of the clock, as a resetting of every situation, instead of going for the players that are going to have, like, I don't know, big character, one stuff, you have to now go for these players that you're going to start the development process with. But that's the only way you can do it, because you try, if you tolerate a player like Casemiro, the main thing is we have to pay him. He's leaving this club that he's been incredibly successful at. Well, how much are you going to offer him? Because other teams will want to buy this player. So what are you lot going to do? And this is why we offer these players over the edge, over the odds wages, because there is no European football. There's a lot of stuff that we're lacking. So you can say, it's still Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. No, it's not. That's not going to be enough for me, mate. How much are you going to pay? And that's what Man United have done recently. We've paid for this talent in only way to compete is we're paying super salaries. But when it all goes wrong, it breaks down. So now if Man United want to change this, they have to now start approaching players literally on the way up that are not household names.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what he is trying to suggest in that instance for United. You know, we're trying to buy. We've certainly tried over the last decade, haven't we, to try that ready-made superstar as opposed to kind of build our own or build them up. You know, and I think that's maybe worth pointing out. A couple of super chats here and a couple of bits of other news. Yes, I've just seen that news that KG you're reacting to as well. Matifalu says he's right and wrong, class player, but not long term. Matifalu also says Ibra, Cavani, Falcao, Bastian, Ronaldo, Evans. It's not just Casemiro, it's what we do as a club. Very little long term buys doesn't mean they're bad players, which again, that's kind of my point. I don't think it's necessarily a criticism of Casemiro, more a criticism of long term planning. So some news that's coming in just the last few minutes. Again, not sure how verified it is or anything like that, but it's being reported that Sofian Amrabat is out of the Morocco team due to injury right now. Again, in terms of the sources it's coming from, I believe it might be actually like a Moroccan outlet or a Moroccan journalist or something, but we'll see if we can get any more on that. But possibly Amrabat could be out with an injury, KG. And also then you're looking towards the weekend, and you're saying, look, Casemiro has been playing for Brazil. We know what it's like, you know, coming back from those sort of South American friendlies. Played against Uruguay. They lost, I think, as well. What's your reaction to that?
You just saw it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, this guy's so important to what I want to do with this team, man. Oh, for crying out loud, bruv. Oh, do you know it? Oh, man.
What is our season, man? Seriously, what is this season? I saw United yesterday did a preview of the Sheffield United game, and they were like, you know, long-term injuries, Luke Shaw, Terrell Malacia, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and now maybe Amrabat out with injury as well.
I just
don't,
bro.
Just when we think we're getting to that point, you know what I mean? Just when we think, right, injuries coming back. Imagine that. After the international break, we better have players back. Less players.
And you always got to think about the international break, you know, because, for crying out loud. How's Kobe doing?
Well, hopefully he'll be back. I mean, again, but but this is the problem too. It's not as if against Sheffield United, you're not going to start Kobe Manu when he hasn't played a game for 3 months or whatever. You got to ease him back in.
Wait, listen to this. We got Maguire and Evans at the back, yeah?
Rafa might be back.
Okay, cool.
And Victor Lindelof.
Yeah, all right. Victor Lindelof wasn't injured. He's just playing weird.
I mean more in terms of now, you know, because Regulion might be back.
Man, like Regulion.
And as Captain Caveman points out, this is important because Amrabat, he's our fourth choice left back. You don't have enough left back. Let's be honest. Regulion's got to play.
I can't even take it, bro. Bro, are we gonna catch it, bro? When are we gonna catch a break, bro? Do you know how important we actually need? Like, he's saying Danga.
When are we gonna have that press conference where Peachy starts off, Eric, team news, and he goes, no injuries. Yeah, it'll be like, you know, Munich '99. Yeah, you know, it'll be crazy.
I just this club, yeah, it's just so difficult, bro. Like, I just need the curse of the. That's what do you call it? Josh is calling it. It's the curse of the the left backs, or the curse of the what? Oh my goodness! Ever since we tried to invert, we've just inverted sickness, bro. Like, I'm telling you right now, yeah, it's just terrible.
It hits you out of nowhere as well, doesn't it? That's the point too. You're sitting here doing a morning show, chatting and going, well, I think our long-term recruitment is, you know, it's probably a bit of Amrabat's injured. What?
And he's new. He just arrived.
Yeah. He just came back from injury.
Stop.
If it comes back out and it goes, yeah, he's got a back injury, you go, you're taking the piss. That's what he had before.
Fuck's sake, bro. Has anyone checked on Hoyland and checked if he's all right?
Oh, did you see that last night?
Oh, don't piss me off. Don't tell me he's injured as well.
No, I don't think he's. I think he's okay. But they were targeting. You know, they were doing knees to the back. They thought they were Carlito, backstabber.
But what's the? That's good. What's the These games that they're playing? Is it for European? Is it to get into Euros?
Yeah.
Okay, it's fair then. If it's just
what? To knee someone in the back?
Nah, if it's pointless friendlies, nah, you know them ones on his pointless friendlies. Like, why is this happening? Like, why is this game happening right now? But if you're telling me, you know, they do them friendlies for no reason. No one cares. No one cares about this international thing. But if it's literally for qualification of a nation, you just gotta say, hey, boy, you know.
Well, here's one. Here's one. Look, Marcus Rashford scored last night for England. It was a good goal. Do you think that will have
playing from where?
Left-hand side? I think it was left-hand side. And to be honest, the goal he scored was like, it was a bit like the Arsenal one. You know, where he just picks the ball up, runs with it, and you're going, pass it, keeps cutting in, and he scored this time. I would say a big assist to Jude Bellingham, who, by the way,
Jude.
I mean, I swear, fucking hell.
He's so
good.
I wanted to sign him, yeah, and I never seen him play. I was right about that one.
Oh my god, the guy's
he's brilliant.
He's 20.
He's brilliant, bro. Bellingham, yeah. I love it though. I love to see a player go somewhere and lift it, like really be the guy. Yeah, it's mad. I don't know. So you know, I'm looking at the comments right now in the free seats, and they're saying Rashford wasn't all that. He was just like he had that.
Well, he scored a good goal. Bellingham starts it by giving him the ball, and then also Bellingham does a run which takes the defender out the way, gives Rashford a bit of room. But you still got to put the ball in the back of the net, obviously. But when it comes to Rashford, I think my question to you was going to be: is this just the ammunition that Ten Hag needed? You know, the whole thing of like, oh, is he gonna start him? Is he gonna drop him against Sheffield United? Ten Hag will go, look, scored against Italy, so starts.
Owen, what are you doing this morning? Is your dream to like depress me as a Man United?
Well, that's what the questions are gonna be Friday, isn't it?
Oh man.
You know, they'll go, oh, Marcus Rashford's not been in, you know, or Simon Stone. Eric, Marcus. I mean,
no, you got there too soon.
I was building up. He'll go, Marcus.
Rashford
for England. He's scored for England midweek. He's had difficulty, like me trying to get my words out this season for United. Have you considered dropping him? Is he going to be starting another weekend? Do you think?
Do you know what's so annoying? Yeah, he knows his question, and in real life, yeah,
it's written down.
He's got it written down. And in real life, yeah, he doesn't talk like that. Like, you have a good conversation with him, yeah, off camera, yeah. He just delivers. I don't know if he wants he's been told by BBC, you know what, you got to extend the time. Is that how Carvey says? I think Carvey's getting paid per the time that he's actually on
You
screen.
get paid per minute.
Yeah, because like Ineos.
He managed to get extra syllables out the word as well. Ineos. Or it might be one. He goes, Ineos.
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 Sheikh Jassim.
Bin Hamid. Al Thani.
No, man. Yeah, man. Simon just needs to chill out and get his questions together, man. There's no rhyme or reason for it. And I'm really depressed. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. That Amrabat news has hit me like a ton of bricks. I was really thinking about, you know, guess what? I get my team back right now. You know, we finally get to see this new signing in his position, and he's gonna like really lift things and stuff, and he'll be, you know, someone that retains the ball. And you start to dream about that Man United midfield, and you can't dream. And the worst thing about it is, I was hoping to get it together just so we're ready for the Man City game. Bro, we got Man City in what, 3 games time? Yeah, we should be terrified. If we don't get this situation right, yeah, we still don't know our first 11. This is crazy. What is going on at this club? Like, in terms of, we buy these players, and as soon as they get to Old Trafford, they're broken.
I don't know. I mean, that's the questions about the recruitment, isn't it? Why not? You know, that's why they have those questions. I mean, look, Kobbie Mainoo. This is the thing with even Kobbie. Like, I feel almost a bit bad for him because there's expectation on him anyway because he had a good preseason, then he got injured. But now, if Amrabat's out for a long time, people are going to be looking at him a bit like they looked at Amrabat. You know, when it was like, oh, Amrabat's going to come in and be our savior, and it's like, well, it's a lot of pressure to put on. And then when they don't live up to that expectation, because nobody could live up to the expectations we've put on him, then we're like, oh, actually, is he that? We'll have those conversations, won't it? Is he really that good? The talent ID at United, KG. Talent ID. Talent ID. Talent ID. Like little card as well. Who are you? Show me your talent ID right there.
We need, you know what? Man United fans deserve good news. I don't know what the news is going to be.
I was going to say, can you give them any?
Garnacho just had a child.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, you know, settle down.
Of all the things for you to say, I was not expecting that at all. That hit me like the Amrabat news. And that was ages ago. You're proper one of those guys. Congratulations on your new kid. He's 4.
Oh, man. You know, head down, focus on football now, just being a father. Donny van der Beek's actually having another child.
Why is all of your good news just related to sort of the birth of children as well?
That's all we got. That's what we have. At least, look, children being born, no one being accused or hurt. You know what? We'll take that good news. It's better than anything else. Oh, I hate it. Oh my!
You could have just stuck with, you know, Kobbie Mainoo's coming back.
Nah.
But instead you wanted to go down the route of people are having babies.
Absolutely. Because that's what we have. That's what we got. Bro, the club's going to be...
Imagine you were the manager. And you get Simon Stone at the press conference. Kevin, any good news? Any good news? Any positive team updates? Team news? Well, Garnacho's just had a kid. Donny and his partner are expecting. What's this guy on?
Well, wait, all right, cool. So if we go with the raw news, yeah, the raw news is a mess. So we're in a situation, Amrabat's potentially injured. We got the long injury of Martinez. The club's about to be sold. I know you lot been waiting I know you've been waiting a year and a bit for this, but we're pretty much gonna spoil the ending. It's like it's like Game of Thrones. That's what it's like. You've been watching for years, you've been waiting for this moment, thinking, hey, guess what? It could only go one way. It has to end epically. Nah, 25% stake to Jim Ratcliffe. Hold on. While that's happening, what else is going on?
Like Dexter. Did you ever watch
Maguire,
Dexter?
Nah, I don't watch Dexter. Maguire's come out though, and Maguire said his win record is epic under this manager.
Ridiculously good.
Hold on. It's ridiculously good. Hold on. Am I playing City in 3 games? And wait. We got minus goal difference in the Champions League and in the Premier League. So Garnacho is having a child with everybody. Are you on board now? Oh, by the way, Sancho still hasn't apologized. Everybody, babies are being born.
It's a weird, even that though, it's a weird ending. If you were to say all that news, if there's probably like the David Brent thing, isn't it? You'd go, but Garnacho's just had a kid, and then the room's quiet. You're thinking about the bad news, aren't you?
This club is a mess. This club is fucking shit, I'm so depressed.
Rashi scored though. So.
Oh, this club is fucking shit.
Rashi scored against Italy. So.
Hey, this club is shit,
Hoyland scored against San Marino.
Hey, we're shit though. Wait, hold on, bro. We're getting into I called you me and you had a conversation midweek here, and I said, "Do you reckon we'll win on we're gonna win on Saturday?" And he was like, "Don't know."
Yeah. KG kind of called, and it was one of those ones which you kind of think that the line's gone dead. So, do you think we'll win at the weekend? Nothing. Hello. I'm still thinking.
It's Sheffield United, bro. Man United are not sure they're going to get 3 points from Sheffield United away. Don't take the piss. We got to get our act together. I really hope this Amrabat news is fake because I don't want to be sad. I need that guy.
Yeah, look, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I mean, that's still for me. I'm still parking that. We're parking that towards the weekend. You never know. Anyway, guys, look, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Still over 1,500 people watching. If you haven't already clicked the like button, we're still less than 300 likes. So if you haven't already clicked that like button, be sure to subscribe. And remember, you can join the UV Members Club. Links
now.
Go live, the algorithm. The algorithm. You can join KG on his channel. You don't even have to go anywhere. Once this stream ends, you'll be redirected to the Reckless and the Reckless delegates as well. Also tonight, 6 p.m. here live on the channel. Live, a brand new show debuts. Ooh. So be sure to join us 6 p.m. for a brand new show. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. Don't go anywhere. You can join KG on his channel. We're out of here. Peace.
No.